Hey everyone, it's Colin. If you've watched any of my videos so far, you'll know that one of the things that I'm kind of interested in are custom camera mounts. I've built a couple so far. I did that swing arm one, and then I also built that kind of pseudo aerial like pole mount camera mount. This is going to be one that's going to be even more flexible than either of those, and that is I'm going to build a clamp mount. You can buy clamp mounts for specific models of small cameras, you know, like GoPros, but they're pretty much designed to work just with that model. They're not really all that universal, at least not without a lot of hacking. The other thing is those cost a lot of money. The GoPro ones that I've seen generally go for 30 bucks. For less than 30 bucks, far less than 30 bucks, for about 15 bucks I should say, we can build our own camera mount that works with a clamp and will actually work with pretty much any camera that you want. The first thing you want to start with, of course, is a bar clamp. I picked up one of these from Home Depot. This particular one was 10 bucks. They come in all sorts of different sizes. They've got little bitty ones, they've got gigantic ones. It's entirely up to you as to what you need in terms of like how big the jaws should be for what you're going to clamp it to, what kind of weight considerations you have, if any, and then also the flexibility of placement that you want. You know, sometimes a big bar clamp may be just too big for what you want to clamp the camera to. In any case, I went with kind of one of these medium small bar clamps and just picked up a couple other little pieces of hardware here from the store as well. In terms of nuts and bolts, you're going to want some of these 1/4 inch 20 by 3/4 inch bolts. This is the exact same thread as what's used on a standard tripod. The other thing that you're going to want are these smaller ones, these number 10 by 32 and then 3/4 inch long. I'll tell you about those in a second, why we need those. And then you'll need these mending plates, and these act as kind of an interface between the clamp and your tripod thread. These are little 2-inch ones. They come in a pack of 4. This pack was like $2.50, pretty cheap, and then each of these was maybe $1. Can't quite remember, but either way I've got less than $5 in hardware across this stuff, and the clamp itself, as I said, was 10. To start is take one of those mending plates and with a drill bit drill out one of the 2 holes. The reason for this is because the holes that come in those mending plates are perfect for these smaller screws, but they're not quite big enough to fit one of the bigger ones through. So drill out just one with a bigger screw that'll fit your 1/4 inch by 20 bolts. Recommend that you use a metal cutting drill bit on your drill, something like one of those guys. It's going to take a little while to kind of work your way through it, but here's a reason why we're doing the mending plates. The metal of these mending plates is a heck of a lot softer than the metal that they use on these clamps. This is like heat treated steel. You can't really bend it all that easy, and you definitely can't drill it. I can't really make that hole any bigger without taking this whole clamp to a machine shop. This metal is just too hard for even a regular hand drill or a drill press with a metal cutting bit to get through. It would just take forever. So we're going to use the mending plates to act as an interface. One thing I should note is that some of these bar clamps come with a little pin sticking through this hole, and that's so that you can't take the bar clamp all the way off the end, because it'd be kind of a pain to put it all back together if that happened accidentally. So if you do have a pin in this hole, all you need to do is just hammer it out. Okay, so let's get this all put together. For starters, take your mending plate, your bolt through one side, your clamp, and decide which way you want to orient it with the clamp. I think I'm going to go this way, through the hole in the back of the clamp, and then simply tighten that bolt down. You can use lock washers on here if you want. My particular camera that I'm planning on using this with is fairly lightweight, so I'm not too worried about this kind of drifting and moving around on me, but if you've got a heavy camera, lock washer is probably not a bad idea. Now all you have to do, and I'm probably going to go the opposite direction with this. So the reason why I put these 2 bolts in opposite directions is because this bolt sticks out a bit. If you can find a shorter bolt, or if you're handy with a Dremel or a tool like that and want to cut this off, that would be a big help. But just so that this sticking out part doesn't get in the way of the camera, I've just decided to stick this bolt out the other way. Shouldn't really matter. What I'm going to do, because these are 3/4 inch bolts, I couldn't find anything shorter at the store, I'm going to add a second nut, and this is just to pad this out. The problem is going to be that if you've got too much thread, it may interfere with the ability for whatever you're screwing into this to fully tighten down correctly, either because the bolt will bottom out the device or it just won't get a very good grip and will want to sit there and spin. So I'm going to throw on one of these, and this is a device I've talked about before. This is the Sony 80p BH1 ball head adapter. They are not the cheapest ball head adapters that you can get. I mean, they've got really cheap ones on eBay and stuff, but what I found is this one just works really, really well. So after threading that on there, now I've got a bar clamp with a ball head on it, and I can position the camera pretty much anywhere I need to, regardless of how the clamp is mounted to whatever it is that I'm clamping it to. So for the sake of illustration here, I'm just going to clamp this guy onto the edge of the table here. What's nice is you can also clamp it one-handed, which is why I really like these kind of squeezy handle style bar clamps. And I'll just take one of my Sony action cams here, throw that guy on. It's pretty slick, so I can, you know, clamp this camera however I want, tighten down the ball head, and there you go. So hopefully this is something that you might find useful. I've already got a plan for how I want to do this, and I'll show you how I'm going to use this in an upcoming video when the event actually happens. But if you like this video, if you found it useful, please give me the thumbs up. I do appreciate those, they help. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. It's right down there somewhere. And as always, thank you so much for watching.